Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our on-demand series. Our program will begin just a few minutes after noon as we are waiting for more people to join the call. So just sit tight and we will begin shortly. Hi, and thanks for joining us today for Jewish National Fund's on-demand programming. Our program will start just in a few minutes. We are still waiting for more people to join. Thank you for joining today, Jewish National Fund's on-demand programming. Our program will start in just a few minutes as we are still waiting for more attendees to join our meeting. Hello, and thank you for joining Jewish National Fund's on-demand programming. We are still having people log in, so we're just taking a few moments before we begin our program. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today for our virtual program, Heroes to Heroes, connecting the dots between Jewish National Fund, the U.S. Armed Forces, and Israel. The format of this program will only allow participants to see the featured speakers. All participants are muted and are unable to unmute themselves. However, during the program, you can submit questions to the speaker through the chat feature. This program will be recorded. Now I turn the program over to Michael Letterman, Chair of the Jewish National Fund's Baruchin Center.
Good day, everybody. Pleasure to be here with you. Mike Letterman here. I'm a member of the JNF National Board and chairman of JNF's Baruchin Center, which I'll mention in a little more depth shortly. Many of you may be new to Jewish National Fund USA, but you probably know of our work planting trees, making the desert bloom, but we do a lot more. We build medical facilities, housing infrastructure, parks, schools, and help people with disabilities, all to connect with the land and the people of Israel. We're involved with paving the way for hundreds of thousands of Israelis to move from the crowded center of the country to the Negev and the Galilee. The Baruchin Center was formed a few years ago through an estate grant of $100 million that established the Baruchin Center, which was designed to be JNF's philanthropic grant-making arm. And one of the most important things that we've done in our capacity as grant makers is help fund Heroes to Heroes, which is one of our first grantees. And today, I'm honored to hear about and to bring to you the amazing work of Heroes to Heroes. It's an organization that provides support, guidance, and most importantly, hope to young men and women who have valiantly served their country and have suffered psychological and moral injury in the process. It gives me immense pride to see our veterans find comfort, spirituality, and renewal in the land of Israel. And I have no doubt that I will leave today's call feeling inspired by their stories. And before I introduce you to them, I just want to do a quick call out to my fellow Baruchin Center committee member, Joe Korn, who has been an erstwhile supporter of Heroes to Heroes, and I believe is on the call with us here today. The speakers that we have for you today are Mike Altman, who is a businessman and the board chair of Heroes to Heroes. Judy Isaacson Elias. Judy is the founder of Heroes to Heroes and has been involved with creating the programming and bringing our veterans to Israel to meet with their counterparts in Israel. I've got Omar Hanna, who is a program director with Heroes to Heroes. He's joining us from Puerto Rico. Omar is a graduate of the U.S. Naval Academy, and he was served in the Navy for years and is now working with Heroes to Heroes. And Harrison Manyamo, who joined the Army in 1999, where he suffered severe combat injuries in Baghdad. And his dream was to stay in the military for 20 years, but he has left and is now working with Heroes to Heroes, continue to bring our veterans some peace and comfort. So with that, I think I will turn the program over to Mike Altman and allow him to give us a good overview of what Heroes to Heroes is all about.
Thank you very much, Mike. So as Mike said, my name is Mike Altman. I'm the board chair of Heroes to Heroes. First, I'd like to thank JNF for having us here today, for their continued support. It's a phenomenal organization, and between Heroes to Heroes and JNF, we're working to forge an even greater relationship between the United States and Israel. So I've been board chair for about 5 years after a chance meeting with Judy Elias, who is an unbelievable human being, an unbelievable leader of the organization, and a tireless, I guess, mentor to us all in terms of what it really means to give back. So Heroes to Heroes, briefly, through a mission based in spirituality and a reconnection to faith, works with combat veterans, as Mike said, who are suffering with moral injury and at serious risk for suicide. And we achieve our phenomenal results saving these lives in conjunction with Team Journeys to Israel. And it's through the unbelievable land of Israel that these American heroes, in conjunction, and they travel with members of the IDF, they find that strength to reconnect with their faith. And you'll hear the stories from Harrison, who has an incredibly emotional and uplifting story of rejuvenation. And with that, I think I will not take any more time and move right into the program. I believe we're going to be seeing a short video about the Heroes to Heroes organization.
I was nominated for a Silver Star for Valor. I have numerous combat injuries and a Purple Heart. I don't know how to convey to somebody who hasn't done what I've done, what I feel.
Heroes to Heroes understands that the U.S. alone can't deliver the kind of healing and renewal that many of our wounded combat vets need. We bring them to Israel and help them form relationships of unconditional acceptance and support with IDF vets.
We trained so hard to go to war. We put everything in it, but never trained how to come back home.
They're afraid to say, "I hurt."
Meeting the Israeli soldiers, it's amazing.
For U.S. veterans, regardless of their religion, the journey to Israel is a spiritual one.
Yes.
Many describe it as a rebirth.
I've gone through the medical, through the Army, and through the VA, and that's helpful. We get treatment for that. But the spiritual relief that Heroes to Heroes provided, it's really second to none.
This is where Israel has something truly unique to offer them. The Heroes to Heroes program highlights that special bond between Israel and the United States.
Soldier to soldier. I'm not Israeli.
Yep.
You are not American. But that bond was instant. Say, Shababa.
Sababa.
Heroes to Heroes gives them the opportunity to connect.
To be able to bond with my Israeli friends, to help both Israeli veterans and American veterans move forward, to see that there is something at the end of the road.
It's a gift from Israel to America.
He was diagnosed with PTSD. It was destroying our marriage. Heroes to Heroes helped. The trip he took to Israel brought a relief for Dave. We're expecting a baby right now. We are ready for our family to move on.
It's a chance to come together, a chance to heal, and a chance to form an unbreakable bond that will last a lifetime.
My friends are on the wall. I can't come here. I haven't been in. Every time I look on these names, I say to myself, what will happen if we won't have any more place to put any more names? And I said, shit, I don't want a place to put names. I don't need names anymore on this wall. It's enough. We don't have any more names. We don't need place for more names. We have to look for peace. Don't put any more names. How many names?
Too many.
20 veterans die each day by suicide here in the United States. Over 10,000 veterans organizations serve our veterans, yet the suicide number does not move. My father was a proud veteran of World War II. He physically came home, but never really returned. a 26-year-old who landed on the second day Normandy, fought in the Battle of the Bulge, and helped liberate Ebensee concentration camp in Austria, had seen too much to process. His way of dealing with his experience was to shut down. My father's pain took its toll on our family. My response was drugs and running away. When I was 16, things came to a head. I was on a path to self-destruction. My father, who I knew loved and cared for me, asked me to go on US-wide pilgrimage to Israel. I first refused. I did not want to have anything to do with Israel or Judaism. Deep down, I felt I was not deserving of that trip. My dad asked me to take the trip for him. At that point, I couldn't refuse. The next thing I knew, I was walking the streets of the old city of Jerusalem on the way to the Western Wall. Tears flooded my eyes. I trembled. How did I have the right to touch this holy site? I had rejected God and all he stood for. I did not turn back. I put my hand on the wall. That moment changed my life. The tears came, but turned to tears of joy and relief. I knew that I was no longer alone. I returned home, finished school, went to college, and raised 2 young men who have continued our tradition as observant Jews. My father passed in 2001 due to a car accident. It occurred on his way to a Jewish war veterans meeting. His fellow veterans told me that they were surprised he passed in that manner. They thought he would choose his day and time of death. I didn't understand this at the time. I didn't understand what my father was going through. His friends told me that every week he went to Fort Dix to help wounded veterans. He took them shopping, he took them to medical appointments. It was his way of giving back, his way of staying alive. In December of 2009, I visited Walter Reed Army Medical Center and was horrified and saddened by what I saw among our soldiers. They didn't want to come home. It pained me as an American, as a mom, as the daughter of a veteran, granddaughter of 2 veterans, and I knew I had to do something. I did some studies of suicide and was always sent back to faith. And I thought, faith has such an important role in our lives, has such an important role in keeping us alive. And I thought back to that day when I was 16 years old and I put my hand on the wall and it changed my life. And I thought, what if I brought veterans to Israel and helped them find themselves, help them reconnect, help them survive? In March 2010, Heroes to Heroes was born. Our mission is to provide spiritual healing and peer support to veterans of all faiths who have attempted suicide or on a path to self-destruction due to moral injury and PTSD. To date, we have sent 311 American veterans and over 100 Israelis have taken part in the program. The outcomes are so remarkable that the moral injury team at the University of South Alabama is doing a long-term study, and we have been invited to present the program to the President Trump's task force on preventing suicide among our veterans. None of this would have been possible without the wonderful mentoring of Russell Robinson, the CEO of JNF, and Joe Korn, a board member of JNF and my personal mentor on the Baruchon Committee. Thank you both for believing in our organization, in our mission, and for supporting us throughout the way. Thank you to the Baruchon Committee and to Mike Letterman and to all of you who support JNF. You are helping our veterans to survive. Thank you for being here today, and thank you for being part of this journey. And at this point, I'd like to welcome Omar Hanna, our program director and alumnus of Heroes to Heroes team, I believe it's 15, to join us and say a few words. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy, and thank you, JNF, for your support. Each Heroes to Heroes team consists of 12 American combat veterans and 3 Israelis that meet us in Israel when we arrive in Israel. The 12 Americans have requirements to join the team. They need to be combat veterans. They need to have moral injury or PTSD, and they could never visited Israel before. Each team is led by 2 coaches, and these 2 coaches are alumni of the program. They've been through the program before, and each team is accompanied by either Judy or myself. They spend 9 days in Israel, and we visit holy sites like the Church of the Nativity, Church of the Annunciation, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. They get baptized in the Jordan River. They visit the Via Dolorosa. We also visit sites like Masada, the Dead Sea, the Sea of Galilee, Yad Vashem. And we also visit the JNF sponsor sites, which are like Special in Uniform, Ammunition Hill, the 9/11 Memorial, the Bullet Factory, and one of the favorites is the tree planting ceremony. And let me tell you a quick story about the tree planting. I'm going to tell you the story of one of our alumni, Dwayne Hodge. He was supposed to be with visiting Israel with Team 21. And a day before he was due to travel to Israel, he got into a car accident. And his wife passed away in that car accident, and he was in a very bad shape. So he could not make it to Israel. But Team 21, his teammates that traveled to Israel the day after, planted a tree in honor of Dwayne's wife in Israel. Dwayne was able to visit Israel 1 year later on Team 26. And he visited the same spot where Team 21 had planted a tree for his wife. And he was able to plant the tree next to his wife's tree. Every night after the journey, after their tours around Israel, the heroes sit down and they go through a meeting and they talk about the theme of the day. Every day they get a theme, and that's when the heroes start opening up. You see, veterans trust other veterans. They trust people that have gone through what they have gone through. And being in the environment surrounded by their fellow veterans, brothers and sisters, they start opening up. And that's when you see their transformation happening in front of you. After the journey to Israel, we monitor their progress through their WhatsApp chat. Each team has a WhatsApp chat, and they stay connected through the first year. Most of them just stay connected for forever. They got brothers and sisters for life in Israel and around the United States. And also, like Judy said, we also have a survey conducted by Dr. Joe Carrier. He's an expert, psychologist, expert in moral injury and spiritually integrated care. And the surveys are sent 1 month before the journey, so we could assess their mental state. And then we send surveys 6 months and 1 year after their journey. So during the COVID, we're using Zoom, like we're doing right now, to reach out to our heroes. And they all love to hear from us again. We've had 5 Zoom calls so far, and it's just amazing. We've had guests like Eyal Dror, a commander for the Good Neighbor campaign, and we've had Alon Wald from Ammunition Hill, and Tiran Atia. We're going to have him tomorrow as our guest, and he's from Special in Uniform. So this connects all our heroes and makes them feel that they are loved, and they just love to hear back from us and to connect with their brothers and sisters. Now, let me tell you real quick, because I want you to hear from Harrison, our program manager. Let me tell you real quick why I left the financial sector and joined Heroes to Heroes full-time with Judy. See, I was in a dark place. And after 20 years of service in the Navy, I had sent multiple kids, because they were 18, 19-year-olds, to battle. And these kids never came back. And it was okay with me. It was okay with me because it's part of being in the military. But when I retired back in 2012 and my kids became that age, that's when it hit me. That's when I said, it could have been my kids sent to battle. It could have been my kids sent to war. And I got depressed, and I got really sick. And Heroes to Heroes came calling, and I went to Israel, and it changed my life completely. It put everything back in perspective. And when I came back, I told Judy, I'm going to follow you wherever you need. I'm going to help you with Heroes to Heroes because I believe in Heroes to Heroes. And so far, like Judy said, we have 400 plus alumni in our program. And remember that number Judy gave you at the beginning? She gave you the 20 veterans a day die by suicide. 20 a day. Heroes to Heroes, none of our alumni has died by suicide. None of our alumni has attempted suicide. This is because Heroes to Heroes works. And that's why I left the financial sector. I was the operations manager of AXA Financial Company and came to work with Judy and Heroes to Heroes. Thank you for your time. Thank you for this opportunity. And now I'm going to pass over to Harrison Manyoma, who is our program manager.
Shalom and good morning. My name is Harrison Manyoma, but my name isn't important. What's important is what's in my heart. I am an American soldier. I am courage. I'm strength. I'm heart. I am truth. I'm willing, and I'm willing to die. I am an American soldier. And see, to be an American soldier to me, is the epitome of sacrifice, of what it means to give to your country, what it means to give to the fruits of the labor of all servicemen and women. Just like I was when I was in Israel, when I came to know Israel. Israel is real. And I love to say that because what I saw and what I've journeyed within my own darkness when I was living in times of suicide and pointing a gun to my head at after the war in Iraq and being depressed and not being able to do the functions of a normal person. I'm Christian and I believe in Jesus Christ. But to be in a place of darkness and prayers not working, or not having my pastors pray for me and nothing's changing, and seeing darkness and being just a savage when it comes to torment of my children and losing my children and my wife at the time and just destroying everything that was in my hand that I felt that was unable to be restored. Feeling shame and guilt of the war and the things that I did in Israel and in Iraq, and witnessing killings of innocent people, or even shooting children and doing the things that war requires of a soldier to do. And that's why I say I'm an American soldier. But I also was willing to go fight for a country which I knew in time would help reap the benefits of what it means to live honoring a country, in which I honor the United States of America. But coming back and going through hell and torment and going through divorce and finally coming to a place of doing drugs and drinking and being oblivious to the things around me, I didn't understand why I was always angry and always willing to fight and just doing the opposite things of what it was before I joined the military. Being a person that didn't smile, or being a person that just had hatred in the heart. I didn't understand that. But the only thing I understood was putting a gun to my head and being able to just say, let the world have my kids, let the world have my wife, let the world have everything that Harrison Manyoma isn't. But yet I'm still an American soldier. And putting the gun to my head on August 10th, 2012 was the point to where I wanted to end life. Like Judy says, and what we quote when it comes to our mission of self-destruction, having a gun to my head and being drunk and being trying to OD on my prescription meds for the severe PTSD and the burns to third-degree burns that I was dealing with, and traumatic brain injuries. And I go to pull the trigger, but right before I pulled the trigger, I remember asking the Lord if He was real, show me. And I went to pull the trigger, and at that very moment was when I got a phone call from Heroes to Heroes. I didn't understand. With a gun to my head still, it just completely threw me left field. And it was two coaches, Corey Gibson and Nick Oletta. I'll never forget them. And I still love them to this day. And they offered me a journey to Israel. I didn't understand. I had prayed. And so I took this journey. Now, being able to go to Israel and witness firsthand what Israel is all about, being a Christian man, and seeing firsthand the baptism of where Jesus himself was baptized in the water by John the Baptist, or seeing his birthplace, or even witnessing the things of the Kotel, the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall. And that is where my true transformation occurred, was placing my hand upon that wall. Because I have third-degree burns, as you can see in my arms, that upon that placing my hand on the wall, I was completely transformed from inside out. Something in my heart was just snapped back into place. Judy was the first person that saw me and said something in me was transformed. And I share this with you because Heroes to Heroes is not an organization. It's a family. And as a family, we have a lot of black sheep, we have drama, we have trauma, we have people that don't get along. We have everything that dysfunctional families have. But one of the main things that we have that truly keeps us together is a woman that I love, that I call my mom. Her name is Judy Elias. Why do I say that? Because a woman that didn't look like me was willing to lay down her life because her father laid down for his life for this country. And that's why I stand here today, being a man of faith, a man of Heroes to Heroes, a man that is an American soldier, but willing to continue to fight for our heroes here in the United States, but also in Israel, because we have men and women there that are also suffering from what we suffer. Am I healed? I like to say that I'm 100% healed, which I know that I will never be complete, but I know that being able to visit the JNF sites, the planting of the trees, Ammunition Hill, or the bullet factory, and seeing firsthand what Israel truly has combated, even Yad Vashem, which was truly, truly something that I've never seen in my life. But seeing and hearing the stories of all these mighty men and all these women of valor, putting their lives on the line for themselves to hold down their country, to bring us back to a place of sovereignty, of humility, is the true form of what Heroes to Heroes is, a family, not just of any color, but all ethnicity, of every race, of every background, religion. I'm Christian, but there's Jewish soldiers. There's people that are Buddhist. There are people that do not believe in God, but they have some type of faith. And what Heroes to Heroes and Israel combined with JNF has taken us from being zero to being a hero. And why do I say that? Because I am an American soldier. But there are so many of us that don't look like me, but that they have something inside of them that needs to come out. There's truth, but sometimes they're covered with lies, with shame and guilt. But now that I'm here now as a program manager, I'm able to journey across the country, across the nation, to the campus visits that we have with JNF and their fellows, which has been a great opportunity for me to share my story, to share what it is to be an American soldier, but also what it means to be in Israel as an American soldier, but someone that has witnessed firsthand what it means to be an Israeli, a Jewish fighter, someone with a heart to keep their country alive. And being on these campus tours has truly, truly been a blessing, not just to me, but many, because many like myself have an opportunity to share stories with people that don't look like us or have never held a weapon in their lives. But the weapon that we have is a heart that speaks truth so that people can know the truth. And with the JNF campus tours that we travel to, or that we're able to visit the colleges, gives us an opportunity to be that weapon that campus needs when it comes to telling our story. What does that mean to me? It allows me to see my fellow men and women be truthful and let everything that they've ever witnessed or ever experienced come out firsthand. And that is what makes these campus tours so elite. It allows us to go visit campus to campus, sharing our story with the Israeli students, but also veterans within the community, and even people that don't understand what the military is. I share this with you today because for the last 7, 8, 9 years, I've always wanted to endure the fight. I am an American soldier. but I'm also someone that wants to continue to see Israel rise up. And with the help of JNF, and I thank each and every one of you, thank you so very much for allowing me, a person of my faith, a person of my, like me, to be able to be part of this. But Judy, you are my mom, and I love you to life. I don't say death because that's not truth. I love you to life. I love you to the ends of time. Omar, you have been a great addition to this team. I love you. Thank you for being on that team when you said yes to come along that journey. I know firsthand what it means. Mike, thank you so much for saying yes to being a chairman, to saying yes to my friendship, to my heart, to seeing firsthand that this truly matters to me and my family. I'm married now to a beautiful woman, and I live every day wanting to save lives, and Heroes to Heroes truly saves lives. And because of JNF, the Baruchan Fund, you allow us to be able to be a widespread to individuals that don't have a chance. And because of Judy Elias, she gives us a chance to be everything that we want to be. And I am an American soldier. Thank you so very much.
Harrison and Omar, thank you for sharing your stories. I think all of us may have different ideas of what a hero is, but I think everybody on the call recognizes the two of you as true American heroes. Thank you. I've got a couple of questions that I thought might be interesting, and the audience can type in their questions if there are others. We'll try to get to some of them, but we've just got a few minutes more. Harrison, I was going to start with you. The video that we saw at the beginning said something I thought was pretty profound. It said that you're trained for warfare, but nobody trains you for coming home. And now that you have come home and you've gone through what you have experienced, do you feel in your statement that you are an American soldier, that you are continuing to serve your country through your work with these veterans?
Great question. And yes, I do believe so. As an American soldier, you're right. We're trained to fight. We're trained to adapt and overcome. And being back and being outside of the military, we have a heart to want to continue to serve. And because of that, I believe that being able to help save lives, veterans across the nation, any military service branch, that our heart to serve will allow us to do that. And that's why I do it, to just give back to this country that has given me life again.
Thank you. And Omar, how do you actually make the connection with the vets who you believe will benefit from Heroes to Heroes? I mean, hearing the timing of the call to Harrison just caused you to wonder, how you can connect with the right people at the right time.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Mike, we have 2 coaches per team, and those are the leaders of those teams. Those are the guys that sit down 3 or 4 months before the journey, and they call each applicant and they interview them. And in those interviews, we have a certain questions that we ask to ascertain who really needs this trip. Because as you've seen, we want the people that are really, really in a bad shape. We need the people that are thinking about suicide. We want to take them to Israel because we know it's so powerful that they will come back changed. And these coaches, they are trained by us to ask the certain questions to ascertain who needs to go to Israel. We have hundreds of applications, and we could only take 12 Americans and 3 Israelis per team, and we only have 6 teams a year. So it's a very competitive process, but we ask the right questions and we ascertain who really needs a trip.
Thank you, Omar. And Judy, a quick question for you. How important is the follow-up with the community after they return?
Yeah, the great question. The follow-up is so crucial. Many of our veterans just have never had connection. You know, the first thing they do, you know, they'll say to us, "Oh, quarantine is great. This is what we were used to. This is what we're used to." And what we're finding is so many of them, especially with their teams, and have finally found a place where they can have that connection and safety. You know, have that discussion in safety. A big issue veterans have is they can't talk because we're going to judge them. And a major part of our program is a no judgment zone. So when they return, we need to keep them in that no judgment zone. So through WhatsApp, now we're, you know, in a major way, the quarantine has been great for us because Zoom has become a huge part of our organization. Also speaking on college campuses, any time we can get them out and we can continue that connection to one another, to other Americans, it's key to continuing their healing. We have, we have a long-term study going on, so we track their progress for 2 years after the program. So we know where people are. The people doing the study keep us informed. But more than that, our veterans want to be part of it. You know, when I wake up in the morning, I see there were chats between some of our veterans at 3 a.m., 2 a.m. with their Israeli buddies. You know, there's always someone awake, when our guys need it in Israel. So they can always reach out, and that's crucial.
Thank you. Thank you, Judy. Well, you know, I think this is a very quick introduction to Heroes and all of the work that you do, but I think an incredibly important one. And JNF is just, through the Baruchin Center and through our members, just so incredibly proud to be associated with you. And we will do everything we can to support the continuation of your work. And with that, I'll turn this back over to our host and let the program conclude or go on if there are other questions from audience members. And not hearing any, I will thank everybody for joining us. This has been just an incredible program, meeting real heroes, the people that sponsor them. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.